is just fantastic.
Captain's Log, Subdate 210325.4. The first delivery of data has arrived. It is not as tight as we thought. Magog's anus should be able to take more than one payload at once. So we are going to now work out how much more we can add to ensure maximum damage. In Morscar, of course, not in the anus. Welcome everyone to the exhibition of stupid people. To start this exhibition of stupid people, we're going to go to Aberdeen University, where the student union held a debate on the presence of British Army recruiters. This debate only happened because some international students had raised concerns via a complaint, so international Karens. One of the students of Aberdeen University, Elizabeth Heverin, decided because she's a mega Chad to say something so vulgar that she had to be punished. This all led to her eventually getting interviewed by The Telegraph, a British tabloid, where she said, "It feels like I've been prosecuted for the crime of being patriotic. It's scary to think where freedom of speech at the university will go from here." The debate in question about the presence of British Army recruiters was actually a way of discussing a union policy on a demilitarized campus, which would then bar military personnel from recruiting students on the campus. Many people within that debate, Elizabeth Heverin herself, pointed out, then why did you come to this university, a British university, if the British military makes you feel uncomfortable? So I guess we should now address what she actually said that got her into trouble. Well, she actually read a poem that is written by James Thomson and was then set to music by English composer Thomas Arne in 1740. What is the poem? Rule Britannia. She quoted Rule Britannia, and only in Scotland really would referencing the Union be considered hate speech and potentially discriminatory. So what was the punishment for this absolute hate crime in Scotland? Elizabeth Heverin has been banned from all student union services and obviously debates for 2 weeks. I don't know much about Aberdeen University campus, but if they have shops on campus, she now needs to shop at a local co-op off campus, which is quite tragic. A final point now worth raising with this particular subject. Has Elizabeth Heverin been discriminated against for being patriotic? And the answer is yes, because it was an opposing opinion on military presence. A military that has just been diminished by 10,000 soldiers anyway under new government plans. So it's somewhat interesting at the same time. Speaks volumes about the current state of affairs at universities in the United Kingdom. To move on from that, we're going to go to California, where the California Attractions and Parks Association is, much like theme parks in California, Southern California more notably, trying to get things up and running. As Operation Warp Speed is taking effect in your country, it's not surprising that people are now starting to prepare for post-COVID life. Well, there's a plan with theme parks, a theme park that would best enable post-COVID California to keep people safe from whichever strain of COVID is deadlier that we have also named for a country but not the original one. We don't do that. Okay. One of these rules would include roller coasters, and it would prohibit noise from exiting your mouth, which I will happily admit is a tad strange. Either bite your tongue, have a ball gag, or wear a mask on a roller coaster? Now, the reopening guidelines in the Golden State call for businesses to limit activities, which would include singing and shouting. Under this proposal, Disneyland, Universal Studios, and Six Flags would only be able to open at limited capacity and then be asked to keep the excitement to themselves on all rides. Additionally, groups would be limited to a maximum of 10 people from no more than 3 households, and indoor dining would be banned. As much as I want to see theme parks opened, what's the bloody point if no one can scream and shout and enjoy themselves? And as an added thing, roller coasters a lot of people go onto for a thrill. Yes, fantastic. with your mouth shut or with a mask on, which would surely then mean you can scream and shout as much as you like as long as the mask stays on. Others do it because they have a friend that's terrified and they want to hear them scream, which is exactly what I would want to hear if I took anyone on a roller coaster. I want their scream. It shall sustain me. For this next topic, I'm going to have to change attire. You'll understand why in a moment.
A few moments later.
So, the owner of Judge Dredd is a company called Rebellion, which is run by a man called Jason Kingsley, OBE. On top of being the co-owner of the games and comic book publisher, he has a sideline, a hobby, a passion, one that I actually quite like too. Medieval reenactments, because we don't have Civil War stuff over here. We do medieval because it's funnier. I am almost certain many of you have seen the video of two medieval knights dueling, and one just gets floored with a single backhand of a man's shield. It's quite funny. If you haven't seen it...
Tell me how the grass tastes, little man! Your feeling is getting there!
Because of Brexit, there have been many changes to certain import rules, and these import rules impact Jason Kingsley, OBE. The more notable of which, one he even acknowledges is a first world problem, is that because he has to import horses, give it a moment, from Spain, keep thinking, you'll get there, he's having to pay 400% more on the transport fees VAT, and including VAT on the prices of the horse. So it's gone from £1,000 to £4,000 instantly. It's not like there are horses in the United Kingdom, but it's all about the quality of the horse, and he can only get them for his events from Spain. I'm going to point at this and just say, I love Dredd. I'm a little embarrassed by you right now. Oh, and weren't you the guy who was championing the opportunity that Brexit presented?
A few moments later.
To the final subject, we go to Kylie Jenner, who I had thought I'd featured on this channel before in the exhibition of stupid people, but I can't remember which one, and I'm a little surprised she hasn't featured more often. Now, it was possible it's either her or her sister Kendall that have featured before, but at this point, I honestly don't know. Kylie Jenner recently received a fair amount of flack because a friend of hers, a makeup artist friend of hers, required brain surgery. That friend started a GoFundMe for $10,000. Kylie Jenner asked for her fans to donate towards it, and then she herself donated $5,000, which took it to $11,000, which is now sat at over $100,000. It went up a fair amount, but that's not the part people have pointed at her and gone, oi, about. The part that has gotten everyone's attention is the fact that Kylie Jenner is a billionaire. She makes about 16 grand an hour. Was it 30 grand an hour? You know, it doesn't matter. Same person who tried to copyright her own name, Kylie, which then she lost because of the musician Kylie. I think she is the same person who wore a Slayer shirt and said she didn't know what heavy metal was, and while out in the sun, put her hands over her eyes, but was wearing a baseball cap facing the wrong way. This is the level of genius we are working with, people. Now, there is an argument. Does Kylie have to donate towards someone's GoFundMe to help them out? Not really. She's a billionaire. She can do whatever she wants. But it is a bit strange for someone that could just front the money themselves. I guess the real bonus here is this particular makeup artist now has over $100,000 to not only pay for the brain surgery, but to look after themselves, if those that donated are okay with it. I would not recommend you start investing in stonks without letting those who have donated know your intention. As we have concluded this exhibition of stupid people, I'd like to know what you all think, so please do let me know in the comments down below. As a final thing, I shall be streaming some murder fun time on Twitch tonight. That's Assassin's Creed. If I don't see you there, have a fantastic Thursday, and thank you all very much for listening.